how do you plan on, like, from a curatorial perspective, balance placing emphasis on memorializing enslavement while also telling the untold stories of the African American journey in its totality?
It's a complex endeavor, and it's one that we will do our best to get right. I think that we have to tell the unvarnished truth of history. There's no way to get around the racial terror and the horrors of slavery, and even beyond slavery that continue to inform our society today. So that we have a commitment to presenting a truth that we think is really important for all Americans to really understand. But beyond that, though, there's some beauty there, because for every enslaved person that was physically captive on the plantation, there is the enslaved person, or very same person rather, who was not captive because their spirit was free, who found a way to have the mental dexterity and the connection to a greater ideal or hope for their future that would be lived out through future generations like ours, through the spirit, through the hopes, the aspirations. The whole notion of liberation is something that is really profound to explore, because, despite being captive, we express ourselves through profound ways, through worship, through the artistic outputs, like this piece that David Driscoll did behind me, that really honors these connections to our roots that were able to be made and preserved despite the limitations of where we are. I wrote a paper once on the whole notion of the early curators and how we didn't have very, very many options on plantations or even beyond that, but we were able to curate a life for ourselves through what we did and how we create a sanctity or sacred sanctuary rather for ourselves in light of the conditions beyond our control. So I would say that there's the harsh reality of the slave trade and slavery. There's also the beauty of ingenuity and of consistency of preservation that also comes out in ways we want to honor through resilience and even resistance. These can be seen as acts of resistance. What does it mean to resist in a way to create a cultural output that becomes a legacy for your future generations? Or to make up in your mind that despite limitations of society, you will still determine a way to, create a freedom, a sense of education, a sense of opportunity for future generations to live into. And I think that there's a beauty in exploring that alongside the terror and the harsh realities, because it gives me hope to know that, my great-great-great-grandparents, despite what they endured, dreamed of a day where I could be where I am, and I always want to honor that, live into that. And as an institution, we're committed to honoring them, but also helping others to understand why so much of this reality of inequity is rooted in something really powerful and real. And we have a commitment to changing that.